What's up, everybody? It's Danny and Gray's Cards and Toys coming back at you with another quick video. As you can tell from the title of the video that we're doing today, it's a little historical moment. Sad historical moment, but it's basically history in my town. It's basically what kind of we say around here put us on the map. It all occurred on March the 20th, 1998. A F3 tornado ripped apart my hometown, and we had to rebuild and so forth. I'll give you a brief rundown, and then I'll show you the footage that I have to follow. And a lot of the stuff that I'm going to cover may be covered in that video, and there'll be some footage and let you guys see just how bad it was. All this occurred, and it was coming from the Gainesville, Georgia / Stoneville, North Carolina tornado outbreak that occurred that day. It was a nice spring, beautiful day like it is outside right now. It's about 80 degrees out today here where we're at, really 80, but it was nice. And I don't remember this because of my age, but I've just been told the stories, and it was nice outside. Then it turned like a dreary day, and the storm started coming up, and our town didn't have but a 5-minute reaction time. The alarms weren't sounded at the right time, and it's only a 5-minute notice, which will be discussed in one of the news footages that I'll show. But anyways, these storms costed $56.5 million in damage, and for 1998, that's probably double the amount nowadays. But it's a lot of money for small towns. Neighboring Madison and Mayodan was also hit hard by these storms, and 19 people were injured, and 2 people tragically lost their lives, a 24-year-old woman and an 80-year-old man. Now, I know the names, I'll just leave them unsaid, but thoughts and prayers go out to those families still to this day. And I try to always remember today, and my mom actually brought it to my attention. I can't believe that I forgot about it. But 3:35 p.m. the town of Stoneville, North Carolina changed forever. I've got a special shirt that I've had for a while now. It's called the Madison or Mayodan Stoneville tornado outbreak. It says, together we can rebuild our communities. Now, Mayodan and Stoneville were the hard hit. Stoneville being the worst because it was an F3, but I wasn't in town. We live about 3 miles out of town, so we had a little wind damage around here at the house. But I was at a daycare facility with a lady that watched me and stuff, and I don't know, I physically seen it with my eyes, but then again I didn't, so I can't really recall what everything looked like. But I can tell you this, to this day, there is a piece of wood up in town that is literally stabbed into a wall. They left it like that. They got a memorial uptown for it, mentioning the victims, and down at the local park they have a little tribute stone thing for the 2 lives lost. And then I think they've started it back up. It was a lot of controversy behind it, but the town clock thing at the old antique store across from the post office stopped at 3:35, and that's obviously when power was lost and the storm hit. And they recently started that clock back up, so there's a lot of controversy. People didn't want it started. Some said, let's move forward and let's start the clock back, but I myself think they should have left it be. That's just me as an individual, and I've heard other people say the same. So without further ado, there's your story, and we're going to start rolling the footage. Hope you guys do enjoy this, his historical moment for our town. And thank you guys. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys real soon with another video.
Here back.
And didn't sink in until I got up yesterday morning. All I want to do is cry.
You can see the sky atop the stairs where the second floor used to be at the Fit and Fun Clubhouse. Margie Fain worked today to salvage what's left of the Children's Gymnastic and Athletic Club. But Friday afternoon, she was saving the children and herself in the nick of time in a cellar next door.
And the children, one of the little boys said, "Can we pray?" And it was my daughter and 3 children and Lisa and her daughter and another lady. We all just gathered and hugged and prayed.
While the town of Stoneville, its businesses and homes can be rebuilt, it'll take more time to repair the emotional trauma this twister has left in its wake.
Still shocked, and then it sets in that, yeah, that was my home, that was my business. We will find later that some of the school children, late afternoon, early evening thunderstorms, will get scared. They will be very afraid. So the crisis teams are here to work with them, the counselors and the school systems. They will draw on other school systems who have been through this themselves.
Anything to help somebody.
Grady Pretty brought some clothes to the Red Cross command post in Mayodan, where scores of volunteers are set up to help victims any way they can.
We carried food out last night to people that didn't have power, that wouldn't leave their homes. This morning we carried breakfast to them. And it breaks your heart when you see the people sitting there crying. They're really afraid. And all you can do is just sympathize with them and hug them and tell them you love them and just...
Though tattered and torn, the victims here vow their spirits and Stoneville will thrive again.
Hey, Robert Murray. This is what I came to see. This town has just been devastated. The tornado came right through the middle of town. As you can see, this building was just almost demolished here. Over here to my left, looks like a garage was just torn to shreds. This place has just been devastated. With me now I have Carolyn Cook, who saw the tornado. Carolyn, what happened and what time did this come through?
It came through, I think, around 3:30. And children were getting out of school, and it was following the river from where I worked, and we could just see it swirling coming up the road. And we ran to the basement at work, and it just crossed the highway back and forth, and then it came on up through town.
Now, you told me that you know someone who owned the garage behind you.
My brothers run Claybrook Tire, and it destroyed it. And my sisters runs an antique shop, and it destroyed it. My sister-in-law, 2 of them, run another antique shop in the Emporium, and it tore it up. Our bank, every building in town, just about destroyed.
Carolyn, have you ever seen anything like this?
Never. I'd always thought it would be someone else.
Exactly. Frank, Sandra, this place is just destroyed. Like I said, the pictures tell it all. Right now, they're not letting anyone into town. There are reports of at least 2, possibly 3 dead in the area. We'll bring you updates and live reports throughout the show as best we can.
It was one of the costliest storms in terms of both lives lost and damage caused to ever plow through the Piedmont.
And today, March 20th, 2008, marks 10 years since that Stoneville tornado.
That storm killed 2 people, injured dozens more, and caused millions of dollars in damage all across Rockingham County.
Our Bill O'Neill spent the day in Stoneville. He joins us now with a look back. Bill?
Cam, this was an F3 tornado, winds of 150 to 200 miles an hour. It first touched down in Mayodan, and just minutes later, it touched down in neighboring Stoneville, where it delivered its mighty blow.
Memories of the tornado are everywhere in this small town. There's a memorial park with the name of one of the victims. Pictures of the damage hang in the window of a restaurant on Main Street. And a clock that stopped during the storm has never been restarted, reminding everyone exactly when the storm hit.
We won't ever forget about it. It just becomes less important, I guess.
For Betsy Shively, it was a huge financial loss. She owned a ceramic shop where the Memorial Park now stands. She had no insurance on the 100-year-old building and was forced to relocate.
You know, I got a 30-year mortgage out of it. And then now the economy's in the dumpster, and I'm a luxury business. You know, I'm one of the first things people do without. So times are rough.
The tornado ripped through downtown Stoneville, destroying several buildings.
It was a white funnel cloud.
Some watched as the twister bared down on them.
And that thing shook so hard, I just cried so bad because I was worried about my grandma as well as my family, but thank God I'm alive today.
One of the most memorable photographs from the storm shows Willie Gann trapped inside his pickup truck by downed power lines.
But I knew exactly what that electricity would do.
Gann, now 89 years old, still has the same truck. And it still runs. Gann says he remembers watching bricks and power lines fall all around him.
Were you frightened at the time?
No, I don't know why, but just felt like it. Good Lord's with me, I reckon.
Stoneville has recovered from the damage, but many say they'll never forget what happened.
You heed warnings these days about tornadoes?
Oh, yes. Talking about tornado now, I try to get somewhere and sit down.
A lot of the folks in Stoneville say there just wasn't a whole lot of warning back on that day. Well, I checked with our weather department, and meteorologist Austin Cavendish, who was working that day, he tells me that is true. While there was a tornado watch in effect for several hours, the actual tornado warning came just 2 minutes roughly before the first touchdown in Mayodan. And of course, that was just 10 minutes before a touchdown in Stoneville. So yes, Cam, this was a very quick storm, and people had to react very quickly.
I remember that. We all remember that. Couldn't believe the damage that it caused in just a very short amount of time. All right, thanks a lot. Bill O'Neill live tonight in Rockingham County.